me look like an American football player.
Welcome everyone. Today we're having another guest speaker here at A New Better Life. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Matthews Grasso. We do fitness and fat loss coaching here in our studio in Attard, where we help people transform their bodies, their lives, and also their mindset. That is why also we have guest speakers like Mr. Attard today, who is an ANBL practitioner, a life coach, who has been working and studying on personal development for the last 15 years. We have a group of members attending here. For their own privacy, we're not going to reveal their face, but you will see Mr. Attard throughout this presentation. Any questions that you have, please contact us on Facebook, email us, or SMS us, and we'll be more than ready to help you. Off to you, Mr. Attard.
Thank you, thank you. A round of applause. There you go. Cool. So like I was saying to you, just before we were starting, we were having a little chat. For me, one of the most important changes in my life happened probably about 15 years ago. I got involved in a type of business that involved starting to learn about personal development. I don't know if any of you have ever really heard of what personal development is and what it's all about. Really and truly, what I want to talk to you guys about today that could make a significant difference for you, as it made for me, was how the mind works, how the mind can affect our lives in general. We hear about being positive, right? Which is fine. The thing is this though, when we hear about being positive and that, it's very easy to tell someone, "Oh, just be positive." The question remains though, how? And sometimes people are I come to you and I say, "Oh, just be positive," but you know what? My dog just died. My boyfriend just left me. Someone just passed away, and we can get very easily caught up in all of these things that are happening in our life, right? It can happen, and we all know that it can happen. So there are ways that we can start to use our mind so that we don't have to get caught up in all of these things. The title of the talk today is From Easy to Easier. Now, when I say from easy to easier, a lot of people right away will say, "But I haven't even got to easy yet. And now you want to take me to easier?" And it's true. But like anything else, it's practice. As you all know here, so you come to your sessions here, you don't come to one session and you're done. You come to another session, you come to another session, you improve a bit more, you start to feel that your breath is getting easier, it's easier for you to breathe during the training sessions. The first one might be very, depending, and then you get better and you get stronger, and you get stronger, and you get stronger, and like anything else, it's practice. How many people here, I'm going to ask a really ridiculous question, I know, but how many people here have a mobile phone? Show of hands. It's really interesting. The first question I ask when I ask for show of hands, it's always like, show of hands, yes or no? Who here has a mobile phone? Right, everyone, right? And on average, not yet, it's okay, the time will come. Don't worry, I promise you. It's almost a good thing you don't have one right now. But on average though, think about this. How often would you change your mobile phone? On average. 2 years? 3 years? People change your mobile. And why do you change your mobile phone? Something might be wrong. Okay, but so something's wrong, so why are you getting a new one? You can answer, it's okay. This is the time where you can answer. This is the time where I let you talk. Okay, yeah, because you want a phone that works, right? Okay, why else would you get another mobile phone? Huh? You want a new model. And why do you want a new model? Pardon? A better one. Because it's an update, it's a newer version one, right? You want to, it has new apps and new, more efficient. Brilliant, absolutely. Now the interesting is this. So all of you told me that for the most part, you would probably change your mobile every 2 or 3 years. Now the interesting thing is this. How often do you upgrade your mind? How often have you taken the time, like you have today, to say, I want to improve my mind? Because up here, you have a 1 trillion gigabyte computer that you only use a fraction of, a small part of. How often do you take the time to say, okay, how can I do things differently? Now, for most of you here, and I don't know the reason you started to come to a new better life and to start your sessions here, but I can guarantee you for the most part, at some point, you said to yourself, enough is enough. It's time to change. For the most part. Because usually change will happen when someone gets to a point where enough is enough. Whether it's in relationships, whether it's in health, whether it's in finances, whatever it is. Because some of the stuff I'm going to be giving you today, actually all of the stuff that I'm going to be giving you today, you can apply to anywhere in your life. Anywhere in your life. I can guarantee it. And why do I say easy to easier? Because essentially what has happened over the years from a child, from a child, all through the years, we are essentially programmed. We're programmed by our parents, we're programmed by our colleagues, we're programmed by the things that we're listening to on the radio, we're programmed by what we're watching on television, we're programmed by the newspapers, we're programmed by all of these things. This is a good question to ask yourself. What am I feeding my mind, my brain, on a daily basis? Most people who I ask, when I tell them, or ask them, questions like, so do you believe that it's really difficult, or you have to work really hard to earn your money? Most people will tell me, yes. Most of you here will probably tell me, yes. How many people here think it's really hard to earn your money? Show of hands. And be honest. Because honesty is really important. Yeah, most people will think it's hard to earn your money. Welcome. So, let me ask you this. Are there people in the world who earn money very easily? Yes or no? Yes. Right? Are there people in the world who earn money really easily? Do you think so? Yes. So, could that be you? Why couldn't it be you? Are there people in the world who very easily take care of their health and their fitness? Probably there are. Why couldn't that be you? And for the most part, what happens is because almost all of you, pretty well all of you said, yes, it's really hard to earn your money. And that's how most of us are programmed. We hear it from little children. We hear it from our parents. Money doesn't grow on trees. You're cysteine. Titer cysteine vishnasa. You have to do. And I'm not saying that you don't have to take action. Absolutely. And we're going to talk about that. But there's a difference in taking certain action and there's a difference in taking other action. But we're so programmed that everything has to be difficult, that everything has to be challenging, that everything has to be hard, that we get programmed that way. And they start to become beliefs. And now, we expect that it has to be difficult. We start to believe it. The first thing, so from easy to easier, this is what I wanted to do. So the first two E's, expect to excel. What if you started to believe and started to expect that you're going to be successful? What if you started to believe that you know for certain that you're going to be successful? What if you started to expect that your day is going to be fantastic? What do you do first thing in the morning once you wake up? A lot of people, I even have to control it for myself as well. A lot of people will go straight to their mobile, start to check any emails, Facebook, what's going on? Let me see what everyone's doing. Let me see whose life is better than mine. Oh, look, they traveled. Look, there's France. They took a wonderful picture in front of the Eiffel Tower. And I'm here. Woe is my life. Look at me. What if I started to have an expectation that I could have a brilliant and wonderful life? Now, when I start to talk about this expectation, oh, I went out of the camera. You know what I forgot to do as well? You'll see me interchanging. If I need to read something, I just want to leave out. I got tons of information for you guys. I don't even know if I get it all in the hour. But, so, the thing is this though, because I can tell you easily, why don't you start to expect to have a good day? But how do you start to do that? How does the mind work? Because people go, oh, yeah, but you don't know my story. Yeah, sure, it's really easy for you. You're living the life. It's really easy for you. You don't know my story because you don't know my boss. He's a real... There's children here, I have to remember. You don't know my mother. She makes my life miserable. You don't know my father. You don't know what my father did to me. You don't know what... And we're so focused on everything that's happening out here that it's very easy to blame. Start telling people, oh, it's your fault. It's your fault. The way the mind works is that each and every one of us is vibrating. We have a vibration. So right now in this room, for instance, are there radio waves in this room? Do you think there are radio waves in this room right now? Yes or no? This is the part where you speak. Yes or no? Do you think there are radio waves in this room? Yes. Anyone else?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And there are. So how come we can't hear a radio? Yeah. How come we can't hear it? Why can't we hear the radio? If there are radio waves in here right now, how come we can't hear it? Anyone have an answer? Pardon? No, we can't hear the radio because we're not tuned into the vibration. So if you have radio waves, we we don't have a radio to tune in to the radio waves, right? Now, as a radio station, let me put it way over here so I don't kick it over. Now, once we have a radio, we can put it on a radio station and we can listen to the music. Now, if I put the radio station on 5 FM, okay? Can I listen to the music of another radio station when it's tuned into 5 FM? Is it possible? Impossible, right? Because I'm not tuned into it. Now, just like radio waves, each and every one of us have a vibration. So, I like to explain this. So, whatever's happening in our life is going to be in line, in tune with that vibration. So let me make it simple. Make it simple and you start to understand me right away. Happy FM. Complain FM. I don't have money FM. I love my life FM. You understanding what I'm saying? You understanding where I'm going to? So we vibrate. Now, with our mind, we can decide what we want to tune into. It's easy to have good health. FM. We start to tap into these. How do you wake up in the morning? FM. Wow, this is an exciting day. This is another day where I improve FM. I am grateful for all that I have, FM. I have food in the fridge. I have a roof over my head. I have a wonderful family. I have my 2 legs to go and train with, my 2 arms to go and train with. I have all of these things that sometimes we start to forget because we get caught up in life. People say they get caught up in life. But what is life to you? It's a choice. Like I'm saying, there's a lot of things out there that we can start to blame. So if we want to talk about health, we can blame all of the things that we want to. We can say, but I have so many things to do. I have to take care of my kids. I have to take care of this. I have to take care of the house. I have to make sure that the housework is done. We have choices. We have choices in our lives. What are the choices that you're making? And one essential choice is how you're using your mind. Because what do I want to start to tap into? And you might say, but how do I tap into Happy FM? Let's do a quick exercise right now. So I want everybody just to sit up straight. Just sit up straight. Sit up straight, back straight, sit up straight. No, don't stand up. Sit. Sit. Straight. Just sit. But with your back straight. Okay? And what I want you to do now is this. Put on a great big smile. Just put on a great big smile. Big, come on. Don't be, you're gonna have, it's a safe environment. Put a big smile. Can you be angry while you're doing that? It's impossible. Because your physiology, the way your body is, and the way will change your neurology, the way the brain functions. And the other way, your neurology changes your physiology. So when I'm thinking really good things, what happens? So let me ask you this. Can you think about, see if this would be applied. So think about your last really favorite, fantastic vacation. Your last really good vacation. Even if it was as a child, I don't care. Just a really good time. It could have been here in Malta too. Just a really great time you had. Can you think about that right now? Yes. Right? Now, when I look at all of you, for the most part of you, almost all of you are smiling. Why? Because this is what happens. This is what happens. Your thoughts, create feelings. Your thoughts create feelings. It's not your feelings that create thoughts, because a lot of people think it's the other way around. It's not that way. It's the other way. I'm thinking not good thoughts, and it's making me feel bad. And the way I'm feeling, will lead to my actions or behaviors. So my thoughts create my feelings. My feelings now will affect what actions I'm taking or how I'm going to behave. I'm feeling really good today. I'm feeling really strong. I'm feeling good about myself. I'm thinking, oh man, I've been going to train now for the last month. I've been feeling so good about myself. Wow, I start to feel good. And now you're looking forward to the session that's coming tonight. Right? You're looking forward to so now when you come to the session, you're going to have some really good results and a really good experience. But now let's take it the other way. So I've been working out. I've been going to sessions now for the last month. I'm not happy with the results that I'm getting. I really wanted to have lost or got rid of much more already. So now I'm not feeling so good about myself, right? And I have my session tonight. Should I go? Should I not go? I really don't feel like going. And you start to laugh because you know you do this. Should I go tonight? Should I not go tonight? Oh, and then you finally go, and then your experience of the session is not as good. So, now we can apply this anywhere. You can apply this in your relationships. You can apply this with my finances. I don't know how I'm going to get through the month. I don't have enough money. What am I going to do? Now I start to feel bad. Now, I'm just not doing the things that I need to do so that I can get the results that I want to have. So if there's anything in your life, now we can relate this to health, for instance, that you're not happy with the results that you're getting or the experiences, what needs to change? Can anyone give me the answer? The way you're thinking is what needs to start to change. But so many people, like I said, will get caught up. Because this is the amazing thing now. Because I was talking about beliefs before, what you believe. What you believe is securely associated with the results that you are getting in your life. Because what is a belief? Does anybody know what a belief is? Can anyone take a guess as to what a belief is? And it's okay, there's no right or wrong answers. Okay, so we're not in school. No one's going to be brought up to the board and give me the answer, whatever. What do you think a belief is? Anyway, it's very simple. But how do you create a belief? A belief is a thought that is thought over and 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 over. Have I made myself clear? And over and over. This is why teachers are in a very powerful position. Parents are in a very powerful position with their children. So be mindful of the words that you're using. How many children have heard, you're good for nothing, 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 you're good for nothing. Until they finally go, I'm good for nothing. So don't expect anything from me anymore. That's all a belief is. It's a thought that's thought over and over. And what happens in the brain is this. So if this is, there's something that we call neural pathways in the brain. So it's like, if you can imagine a cable. So for instance, some people, when they get angry, they always react by yelling. Because that's the way they've learned over the years. Maybe they saw their parents. Maybe it was always, that's the way they reacted. So now what happens over the years is, every time you're in that situation, so for instance, every time, I don't know, when it came, we can talk about health, for instance. So every time you find yourself in a situation where you need to make a choice, when it came between, I don't know, a food type or another food type, and you started to learn, and you always, and this gets thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. So now it becomes the way you behave in that situation. So I get angry, this means I yell. I get angry, this means I yell. I get upset, this means I eat more. I get upset, I eat more. I get upset, I eat more. Or I eat the wrong foods. Okay? So, this gets stronger and stronger. Now, when we start to change the way we think, when we start to change the way we choose these thoughts so that we create good feelings, what happens is we create a new cable. So now I say, you know what, there's a different way to do this. And all of you have done this. You made the choice to start coming here. You chose something different. You chose a different way of thinking about it. I'll give you a second. You can ask over. So now what happens is, as you start to make a new choice and doing things differently, is, you know what? When I get angry, I can take a step back before I say anything, and maybe I can choose a different way to do it. And I can look at it from the other person's perspective and say, okay, I don't need to yell. I can talk to this person, for instance. And we create a new way. Now, the brilliant thing about the way the brain works, the neural pathways, is that as I start to do this new one, this one starts to go away. And now I have a new neural pathway. So now when I go to a restaurant and I'm making my food choices, because now I've created a new way of thinking, I just don't go straight to, or always straight to the pizza, the pasta, for instance. Not that it has to be a bad thing. Remember. But you got to get your point to this. Like, you have to get your mind to this point. Like, I can talk about myself. If I have certain beliefs, if I believe that pasta is going to make me fat, if I believe that, it will. If I believe that lettuce is going to make me fat, it will. Now, if I know that that's my belief right now, that this will make me fat, for instance, then I use my beliefs for my favor. I stay away if I have to. Right? So we start to create these new beliefs. And these thoughts, as we create these new thoughts, we're going to start to get different results. Because if you keep on doing something the same way each and every time, if you've always done something in a certain way, and you're not happy with the results, you are not going to change your results unless you do something differently. It's as simple as that. I don't want to get too lost on this, because time just goes by. So, the first two E's from... What? Oh, yeah, this. Oh, it's better with this? So the first two E's of easy and easier are accept and expect to excel. Expect that you're going to achieve whatever you want to achieve. The next two A's, accept and acknowledge. Accept where you are right now. One of the keys to success is accepting where you are right now. Right now, I'm at this point in time in my life where I want to get rid of 8 kilos. This is where I am right now, and it's okay. And it's okay. I am talking to you from experience. I'm talking to you from experience firsthand. I have competed in bodybuilding. I have taken myself to 115 kilos. I have brought myself back down. I have gone up again a bit. It's okay. You're going to get to where you want to get. Accepting, this is a big factor. Why is accepting so important? Because if we relate it to what we were just talking about, your thoughts. Because if I'm not accepting it, and I'm always being very hard with myself, I'm sadistic, you look ugly, you shouldn't have brought yourself to this point, why did you get yourself to this point? What kind of feelings am I creating by doing that? And what's important to understand is, whenever you're creating these big feelings that are negative, if you want to call them negative, remember, that's your vibration. So then the rest of your life starts to become negative. You start to have situations where it's negative, things start to happen, because that's all that can happen in your life when you're not feeling good. Because you can only bring into your life what you're vibrating at. So if for the most part, and we're human, so we go in and out. There are times, I'm not saying you're not going to have your challenges, you're going to have your challenges. We go in and out in life. But when you start to learn and use your mind so that for the most part, you can go to happy, you can feel good. Even if you think, I call it ironic here, even if right now you just thought of your favorite meal. You just thought of your favorite meal. You automatically start to feel good. That's why I said think of your favorite vacation. Think of a time when you were, or even when you think of a time when you were really happy. You have to feel good because you're thinking happy. So whenever you're having a difficult day, and you want to change things, think of something that makes you feel happy. And automatically, you will start to change. So you accept where you are now. Because once you accept where you are now, start to move forward. And acknowledge. What do I mean by acknowledge? You know what? It's really interesting. You know, it's very easy for us to talk about all the things that we're not happy about ourselves. Let me ask you this. How many successes have you had in your life? How many successes have you had in your life already? Think about it. It's okay, let it out. It's okay, it's okay. No, it's okay, don't worry. It's okay. It's okay. We're human, it's okay. It's okay. Let him be up a bit. He needs to be up a bit. His skin is steady. It's alright. He can't be sitting down too long. It's alright. Don't worry about it. So let me ask you this. We'll just continue, he'll be fine. Just keep an eye on him, he'll be fine. So, let me ask you this. How many successes have you had in your life already? When you look at your life, have you already had successes? I look at my life sometimes and I go, look at all the successes I've already had in my life. I came to Malta when I was 14. So that was like a big change in my life. My parents are both Maltese. I was born in Canada. So when I came here at 14. I did not know Maltese. I had to learn. So I went to school, I had to take private lessons. And from Form 3 to Form 5, I managed to get my matriculation in Maltese. To me, I look back and I go, that's a brilliant success. I think that's a really successful. I learned another language. You come to your training session. Some of you have been coming here for a year, 6 months, even if you've just been coming for 3 weeks. Is that not already a success? And when you look at that and you go, wow, I did that, you start to feel good. But acknowledge your successes. Because you don't, it's not about looking at all the things that you're not happy with. It's about acknowledging the successes you're having and that you've had. Because you've done it already. You're capable of being successful. So acknowledge that. Just want to make sure. Two S's of easy and easier. Stay focused. Doesn't sound right, but stick it out. Keep going with it. I know it doesn't sound right. I'm just realizing now as I'm writing it, but you'll remember it now. Oh, let me write it this way. Wait a minute. Let's do it this way. Stick to it. Alright? A bit better. Stick to it. Stay focused. Because where you focus, where your energy goes, where your focus goes, your energy is going to flow. And this is about making it easy. And we're going to talk about that in a tiny bit, because we're going to talk about when you take action that is inspired, it's a big difference than just taking action. But stay focused. Because where you stay focused is where you get results. Notice in your life, when you got results in your life, was it where you stayed focused? Where you were consistent. Consistency, this is a big, for me, is one of the most important factors in your life. One of the most important words that could be in your life, in my life anyways, for sure, is consistency. When you are consistent, you will get the results. I don't care if it's in your relationships, I don't care if it's in your spirituality, I don't care if it's in your health, whether it's in your wealth. When you are consistent, when you are focused on what you want to achieve, this is where the results are going to come. So you're coming to your sessions. Am I consistent? Am I consistently coming 3 to 4 times a week? Or is it 1 week once, the next week twice, the following week once, then I do 3, and and notice when you do get the results. That is when you are consistent. I can guarantee it. I know it for myself. And once I'm not consistent and I'm not focused, and this takes me back to what I was talking about, the mind, and how it is so important to train your mind every day. For me, now, and it took a while, and like I said, it's practice, but for me now, every day, my day starts, the minute my eyes start to open, and this is a really cool tool to have for yourself. When when you're in that state, when you're just getting up, you're not quite awake, but you're sort of like, and you haven't got out of bed yet, you're half asleep but not asleep. At that point in time, take 5 minutes and be grateful and think about how you want your day to be. Because the minute you do that, at that stage, you are setting the frequency for the day. How many people will get out of bed, something not good happens right away? We're like, it's going to be one of those days. And what happens? It's one of those days. Why? Because that is what I've decided the day is going to be. You get exactly what you ask for. Not especially, when you believe it. Because most people, when they say it's going to be one of those days, they really believe it. They really believe it. And it is. But if every day I practice, and when I'm waking up, I go, okay, we'll see how this day's going to be. I'm going to have a really good day. It's going to be that. Now, will things come up in your day? Yeah. Challenges come up sometimes. But if I can still be happy when those challenges come up, that's a real huge accomplishment. And nowadays, for me, that's one of the things that's most important, that most things won't bother me. Yes, things come up, like I said. But then I look at it and go, okay, so how are we going to solve this? How are we going to make this happen? How are we going to fix this situation? So staying focused and stay with it. We call it sometimes it's called the last 10 seconds. It's in the last 10 seconds. You think you're not going to make it, and then all of a sudden, just around the corner is your destination. So your weight has plateaued a bit. You've been the same for a little while, and you're going, oh, I think I'm going to give up. But then you go, well, let me just hold. And then all of a sudden, the following week, boom. Everything shifts. Because it was so close, you just got to stick with it. You just got to stay with it. Stay focused. Really, really important. I just want to make sure I don't the why of easy. You got this. This is yours for the taking. You have it within you. Every single person has it within them to achieve the results that they want to achieve. There is no one that does not have it within them. You have all the resources. What happens to a lot of people is this. Like I said before, they start to blame all the circumstances around them. I don't have time. I don't have money. I'm too occupied with this. I this. It's that person is causing it, making it difficult for me. And we're so focused on everything else that's happening out there that everything that you want to achieve is in here. And why can it be easy? Because once you make a choice with your mind that it's going to be easy, it will start to become easy. When I was talking about programs and how we've been programmed, for the most part, society tells us that the harder you work, the more you're going to achieve. Right? That's what society tells us. So basically, society is telling us to row our boats upstream. Keep rowing upstream. But what if everything you wanted, and all you had to do was take the oars, pull them up, put them in the boat, and let the stream turn you downstream, and everything you wanted was downstream? Wouldn't it be a lot easier? It would be so much easier. But we're told from a very young age how everything has to be difficult. It doesn't. Because if I start to tap into Easy FM, my life is good, things come to me easy, things are always working out for me. And you can start to say this stuff to yourself. Things are always working out for me. I am healthy. I am achieving the health goals that I want to achieve. And we could do a whole talk on goals and how to do your goals. Maybe we'll do that another time. But that's why life then starts to become easy. And then it starts to become easier. I, from easier, is inspiration. Inspiration. Be inspired. So inspiration, what's so important about inspiration? Inspiration comes from in spirit. In spirit being you aligned with who you really are. Call it whatever you'd like to call it. You can call it God, you can call it the divine, you can call it whatever you'd like to call it. Well, energy, high energy, whatever you like to call it. Once you tap into that, everything becomes much easier. Because now, the action that you're going to start to take is inspired action. Do you know anybody who is really busy all the time doing nothing? There are people, you talk to them all the time. I'm really busy, I have to do this, I have to do this, I'm really busy. They're always busy. Always busy. And yet, they're still not achieving the results that they want to achieve. But they're really busy. Because just because people are busy doesn't mean that the action that they're taking is getting them the results that they want. But when we take inspired action, so you had an idea. All of a sudden an idea popped into your head. Oh, I could do this like this. I could do this like this. And you take action on that inspiration, now it's going to be action that is inspired. Something higher than you gave you that inspiration. So notice it. You might get an inspiration for a recipe. It could be as simple as that. A new recipe, oh, this could be really good. This could be high protein, low fat, whatever it may be. You might get an inspiration for that. So just notice that this will make a huge, huge difference in your life once you're taking action coming from inspiration. The E from become easier. Elevate yourself every day. What do I mean by elevate yourself every day? One of the things that I attempt to do for myself every day is be a better version of myself every day. How can I do things better today? What are the actions that I can take today to make myself a better person overall? So, it could be that I took those 5 minutes in the morning before I woke up to set the intentions for the day. I made better food choices today. I was kinder today with other people. What do you aspire for yourself to be a better version of yourself every day? This is where personal development came into it for me. Because with the personal development, I started reading, I started listening. I noticed that I said, okay, I can speak, I can teach people. I love having the opportunity to teach kids at a young age, because when they start to learn, I mean, I wish I started to learn this when I was 10 or 12, but I was 40 when I started to learn this. Now, I know I look like I'm only 20. Huh? What'd you say? Oh, that's good. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. 20 on each leg's good. I'm doing well. So when children have an opportunity to learn at a very early age, they're going to grasp it and they're going to start to change the way they think right away. I mean, wouldn't it be amazing to tell your child this, your life can be easy? It doesn't mean you don't take action. We already talked about it, but when you're taking inspired action, it makes a big, big difference. Because action is going to be part of it. One of the keys to success is also knowing where you want to go. So everyone who started here probably has a goal and has set their intention to get rid of 3 kilos, 4 kilos, 5 kilos. What's really important to understand as well is you have your goals, and I'm sure they work with you with this. You know, if I'm here, so we've acknowledged where we are, right? We've accepted where we are, we're here. You know, and we know we want to get rid of 15 kilos, for instance. Right? But the amazing thing is this, remember, every thought we have, we create a picture or a movie. Right? So if I ask you, what's the color of your front door? You have to bring out a picture of your front door. You have to look at it. Right? You can't not. You have to. Right? So same thing. So now, I'm saying 15 kilos, right? So now I'm seeing myself 15 kilos lighter. But now what's really important is this, because sometimes this can seem really far away. How am I ever going to get there? Now I'm going to start to create a bad feeling. It's so far away, how am I ever going to get there? Very simple. Let's start with the first 2 kilos. Let's see me getting rid of the first 2 kilos. The first kilo. The first half kilo. It's already moving in the direction you want to go. But so many people are caught up in thinking about the other direction. I've always been like this. I'm never going to get rid of it. How am I ever going to do this? It's going to be so difficult. It's going to be so hard. I don't know if I can do this. These are all pictures looking back. And movies doesn't take us forward. We want to go forward. So we take it in steps. First 2 kilos, then the next 2 kilos. Now it doesn't seem so far away, because now it's here, it's only here. And then we see it here, and then we see it here. And this is making us feel good, because we're moving in the direction we want to go. So when you're setting your goals with your getting rid of the weight that you want to get rid of, you know what the ultimate goal is, but then you can break it down. So now I can see myself 2 kilos away. I can see myself. You take So really important. Every day. How am I going to be a better person? Me, every day, like I said, before I start my work, when I go and sit down somewhere before work, I sit down. I read something, I listen to something that is going to inspire me, that is going to help me to learn, so that I can teach better. Every day. Why? Because when every day I can make a better version of myself, and I take the time to ground myself, if you want to call it, and to align myself with something that is much bigger than me. If I am aligned with, call it whatever you like, I said, the divine, God, whatever man, there are different ways of doing that. Can I ever be unhealthy? Can I ever be without? I can never, because if I'm tapping into that, I can never be without. Never. And the more I learn to do that, the easier it's going to be for me. So every day, just decide, what am I going to do for myself today to be a better me? It could be something as simple. You want to talk about vibration? So, and then this is really interesting. So when we talk about anger, there's no bigger anger or smaller anger. It's the same. It's anger. It's a vibration. It's anger. Now the same thing with kindness. There's no big kindness. There's no small kindness. It's all the same. And that's why a small act of kindness can go a long way. And you wouldn't even know the effect it had. Because your small act of kindness affected someone, which affected someone, which affected someone, which affected someone, which made a huge difference for someone else. And the same thing with you. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. And the R of easier. Rest and repeat. When I say rest, the obvious is, even when it comes to your working out and your training and that, you need time to rest. You need time to rest the muscles. They need time to recuperate. You need to take that time to rest. But in the context of what I want to talk about as well, is take time for yourself. Take time for yourself to be quiet. Take time for yourself to be on your own. No mobile, no internet, no TV, no husband, no wife, no children. 15 minutes. You laugh, I know. It's like, how am I going to do that? I know. I have a daughter. Huh?
Even when I am trying to relax, even the dog, I don't like.
Yeah, so nothing. Be on your own. Sure.
Can you do the other tasks, like for example, in the shower?
You could. You could in a shower, absolutely. You absolutely can if you're mindful enough. But what I'm suggesting is make sure, and you absolutely can. You can do it. You can just take a short walk. See, so how many people here have heard about meditation? How many people here have heard about meditation? And what do you think meditation is? Do you have an idea of what you think meditation is? See, because a lot of people think that meditation, you need to go somewhere completely on your own, somewhere where, right? Meditate. You could be walking and meditating. You could be in the shower and meditating. But take those 15 minutes for yourself every day. Do your best to take those 15 minutes for yourself so you stay quiet. And just no thinking. Meditating really is eliminating thoughts. Because believe it or not, everything we want is in between, in that space. where there's no thoughts. It's in that space. But a lot of times our minds are racing. So you just take that time, and I tell you to take that time for yourself, so you don't get caught up in life. And it's just the children, it's just this, and it's just take the time for yourself. So take that time to rest your mind. And once you start to get the hang of it, the brilliant thing is this. It's like a blueprint. And you just repeat it. And you do it again. And tomorrow, we do it a bit better. And the next day, we do it a bit better. And I'm going to emphasize this as well. Be kind to yourself. If you had a friend who was having a hard time, whether it was with their health, whatever, they're having a hard time, how would you speak to them? When a child is learning to walk, and they get up, and they fall down, do we say, oh, get up? We say, get up, hey, come on, walk. No, we encourage them. We say, hey, it's okay, do it again. Try again. And you do it again. And we're gentle with them. So please, be gentle with yourself. You don't have to be so hard on yourself because this week didn't go exactly the way you planned with your food, for instance. Or your exercise, using the context of here. Be gentle with yourself and say, you know what? Tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow it starts again. You just repeat. You know how to be successful already. The mind plays a very important topic. I think we're at time now, right? Yeah. So, and I'll finish with this. So, stories are wonderful. And this is one of my favorite stories for me because it's quite personal as well. So, I tell you, the mind plays a very important part. And I said when you tap into, when you start to see, and writing down stuff you want to achieve. Write it down. Research has shown that you have 1,000 more times chance of achieving your results when you write it down. Even simply, like I tell children, for instance, at school, take a piece of paper and write down the results that you want to achieve in your life. And not in your life, at school, for instance. Now, you as adults, you have stuff that you want to achieve. So if you look here, you want to achieve that, you want to have this size waist, you want to feel this healthy. You want to be at this way. Take it, write it on a piece of paper. Write down what you'd like to achieve, as if you have it. So I am weighing whatever. I am whatever. And write it down on a piece of paper. And put it by your bedside table. Just put it by your bedside table, so that when you wake up in the morning, you see it. When you go to bed, you see it. The way the mind's going to work, unconsciously, the mind is going to make you start to take actions that move towards those. You'd be surprised. And you don't have to hang on to it too tightly. Just let go. So, I'll finish with this story. So like I said, writing these things down is amazing stuff. And you'd be surprised what you start to achieve. So, a couple of years ago, I was going through some of my stuff or whatever, and I came across this. It's a small stationery set. It's almost brand new. So this was my daughter's. They told me to show it to the camera. There you go. This is my daughter's. My daughter is 26 now. She probably had this when she was about, I don't know, she was probably about 8, 10. I'm thinking around 10. Anyways. And I came across this. Anyways, and it has a little drawer in here. So, and I opened the drawer, and I find this inside the drawer. It's a made-up business card, which she wrote. And on the business card, she wrote. So again, I think she was about 10. And I'll tell you why I think she was about 10. So she's put 2 stars on it. She's written, "We were born to shine." wrote her name. She's wrote a fictitious telephone number. She's wrote her mobile number. So she had a mobile already, because this is still her mobile number. So I think she was about 10, 11, something like that, because I think it was at that time. She's wrote her email address. I don't know if that's not her email address now, but that's what it was at the time, I think, or something. And she's wrote a fictitious address in Sleep. And she's wrote Emma Marie Attard, and she's written under her name, psychologist. And I know she was young because she didn't write psychologist right. It's incorrectly spelled. She's a psychologist today. She's a psychologist today. She's still studying psychology. But this is something she wrote. Oh, whatever. Her intentions were set out there. She wrote, and she put it away. She forgot about it. I mean, she completely forgot about it. Now, the amazing thing is this, like for me, I mean, as parents, we know sometimes that we think they're not listening. They do. They hear our words and they see our actions more than anything. See our actions. But it's the power of the mind. She's not living in Slima yet. I'm sure she would like to. She's not there yet, but the power of the mind. And if we can instill in each other and you for yourself that you were born to shine. You were born to be the best version of yourself. And you can have anything you want and be anything that you desire, whether it is weight-wise. For those of you who are interested, afterwards I can show you a couple of photos of myself. Bodybuilding, I can show you stuff where I was at like 115, I think, kilos. And I can show you a year ago, and you can see me today. A year ago is actually a little lighter. So I gotta knock off a few. So I know, but I'm accepting where I am right now. It's where I am right now, and I know I have the capability of achieving it, without a doubt. It's just being a little more focused, and knowing that it doesn't have to be difficult. It can be easy, and as it gets easy, it starts to get easier. Just by implementing some of these stuff every single day. So that's it for me. For those of you, I don't know if anybody has any questions. Maybe there's something you'd like to ask. There might be some people who need to get going, because I understand time is an important factor for some people. I do appreciate all your time, for you taking your time to be here today. And understand, you made a decision that a lot of people didn't make. Just because, for some reason, they didn't see the value in it, they didn't think it was that important, and maybe it isn't, and it's fine. It's okay. It's perfect. You're perfect, exactly the way you are, right now. Understand that, because once you start to understand that about yourself, then everything starts to come into place. Everything falls into place. Your health, everything. So just move on. And I thank you for being a part of my dream. Because this is what I have a passion for. I love doing this. I love being able to share this information. So for those of you who want to stay on and maybe ask some questions, by all means, I'll be here for a little while if you want to ask some questions. And like Matt had said as well, I'm an NLP Master Practitioner. NLP being Neuro-Linguistic Programming, brain linguistic, understanding language patterns, because you tell people everything. From your language, you start to see limiting beliefs, how you're limiting yourself. So I work with people one-on-one when they need assistance, and as a life coach, and I help them to get the results that they want to get. So like I said, if anyone wants to ask some questions, whatever it may be, by all means, come and talk to me afterwards. Otherwise, I thank you. Take care. God bless.